One of the reasons why romantic love might look different for you than it does for other people is something that you have never even heard of, and that is your human design profile. If you've been following along, if you saw last week's video, you know that I'm discussing human design because I have created a new framework called the Core Love Codes. The Core Love Codes are a combination of my 6 dating archetypes and certain elements of your human design chart. Human design requires some explanation. I'm breaking it down to make it more manageable, more understandable. If you go to franny.app, www.franny.app, you can learn more about the core love codes. But the way that I am building all of the coaching frameworks around the core love codes is to be something that resonates with you. So you do not actually need to have this human design knowledge, but it does give another layer of understanding when you're reading your core love code, of understanding why it is what it is, because you have this deeper knowledge of human designs in addition to understanding what the dating archetype is. So last week we talked about the different aura types. So if you have not seen that video, please go back and check it out. And this week I'm going to give you a really quick introduction to another key part of your human design that also factors into your core love code, and that is your profile. So in human design, your profile is considered to be the costume that your soul chooses to wear. You are a soul having a human experience. And in that human experience, we each are embodying different archetypes. And that affects our life path, how we show up in the world, what we're here to learn, what we are here to contribute. I'm going to give an overview of the first 3 of the 6 profile lines in this video, and stay tuned for part 2 next week, where I get into the next 3 profile lines. And I'm doing it this way because I don't want to make these videos too long. In human design, everyone has a profile that consists of 2 numbers. Yours might be a 2-4, a 4-6, a 3-5, a 1-3, etc. There are 12 different potential profiles, but they are all combinations of 6 different lines. And each of these 6 lines corresponds to a different life path, a different way that you are going to show up in the world, the experience that you're going to have, the experience that other people are going to have with you. And we're going to start at the beginning. So the first is representative of the investigator. So regardless of whether you have a 1 in your profile, that's the first number, or the second number, so say you have a 1-3 profile or a 5-1 profile, either way, whether it's the first or second number, the 1 is something that is fundamental to you, whether it's on a conscious level, which is typically the case with the first number, or whether it's more subconscious in the case of the second number. Regardless, the 1 is the investigator. So if you have a 1 in your profile, you are someone who is drawn to having a strong foundation from which to operate. You're a person who likes to research, you like to understand, you like to get a deeper knowledge before you act. You want to know the ins and outs. If you're going on a trip, you want to do the research and you want to see, okay, what's the neighborhood like? You want to plan things more. You might be someone who is very drawn to education. So you're always investigating life. You are seeking answers. So people who have 1s in their profiles, they tend to not be frivolous people. The shadow side of the 1 is that sometimes you're so attached to getting certainty that you are not recognizing the fact that you can't always have that certainty, right? So in dating, for instance, if you're a 1, you might be more inclined to say, I want to know everything about this person, or run through every possible scenario that could come up on a date. Or maybe you are holding yourself back from relationships entirely because you don't feel ready enough, because you don't feel that you understand them enough. So if you have a 1 in your profile, I encourage you to hold that loosely, to know that everything cannot be certain, and certainly not love, certainly not dating, certainly not relationships of any kind, because you have another person involved and you are always changing and they're always changing and circumstances are always changing. So when I work with a client who has a 1 in their profile, sometimes we have to just really work on getting them to a place where they're more comfortable with the uncertainty, and recognizing that the foundation that you're seeking is only going to come through experience. And this is part of what you are here to do, is to learn what you can hold and what you have to relax into and to allow. Next, we have the 2. So whether you have the 2 as the first number in your profile or the second number, the 2 line is the Hermit. So the Hermit in human design is considered the natural, meaning you have natural talents, you have natural gifts that are so natural to you that it's very easy to take them for granted. You might need other people to actually tell you and to call out the things that you are good at, because to you, it's just you. You also have a need to retreat. It's not that you're antisocial. These names in human design are not always the greatest because we have so many other associations with these words. And you think of hermit in a cabin in the woods and you're like, that's not me. I love people. I'm social. I'm not a hermit. Being a hermit in human design does not mean that you don't love people, doesn't mean you don't ever want to be around people, but you do have, as an important part of your process, is to remove yourself from other people so you can be in your own energy and then you can re-engage with them. So in dating, if you have a 2 line, that's just something to know about yourself. It's something to know that you're probably underestimating your gifts, number one. And number two, honoring that need within you is something that's going to just make your life path a lot more simple. Another part of being the hermit is that you are somebody who is more drawn to authentic things. So as I mentioned, the 2 line is considered the natural in human design, and that is your natural talent, but it's also something in you being more drawn to nature, being more drawn to authenticity. And that's a really beautiful thing. And then next we have the 3 line. The 3 line in human design is called the martyr. Again, I know that's not the greatest word and maybe it conjures up a lot of things. But what it means in human design is that you are someone who operates through trial, experience, trying things out, things not working out, seeing what works. Someone who, when your parents said, don't touch that stove, it's hot, you said, well, let me just touch it anyway. You are someone who lives your life in a very experiential way in order to integrate the lessons from them. And integrating the lessons is a huge part of the path of the 3 line. If you have a 3 in your profile, again, whether it's the first number or it's the second number, it is very important that you learn the lessons that your experiences have taught you. Because the shadow side of the 3 line is to feel like a martyr, feel like a victim, to feel like, oh, why are these things always happening to me? Why don't things ever work out for me? The more that you're bringing that energy and those type of disempowering questions, it really just reinforces that victim mindset. So if you are somebody who has a 3, it's just important to ask yourself, okay, if this experience happened to teach me something that's in my highest good, what might that be? Because when you're able to learn that lesson and integrate that lesson, then you can move on. And then you can be free from having that experience repeat over and over and over again. So that's a very quick overview of the first 3 lines. Please stay tuned for next week's video where I'm going to talk about the 4, the 5, and the 6. Apologies to anybody who, like me, is a 4-6, and you're like, but we haven't gotten to any of my lines yet. Don't worry, we're going to get there next week. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about any part of what I'm covering regarding human design, dating, all the things. I would love to hear from you. And if you are new here, welcome. And stay tuned because I end each video with a question that is designed to help you go deeper into today's video. It's called Heart Work, and your heart work is coming up right now.